Welcome back to the Anime Protagonist Podcast. We are this week going to discuss a hidden gem. I really butchered that, but we're going to discuss a hidden gem in anime this week. Gem being the key word because we are talking about Land of the Lustrous.
Gem.
That word's lost all meaning to me.
Yeah, that is a gem.
Yeah. A gem.
It is a gem.
How are we going to be tackling this, Jay? Let us know.
We are going to be doing our typical review discussion format where we start off by discussing OP, ED, sound, VAs, visuals, and things like that, and then give you guys our brief thoughts on the show, whether we think you should watch it, yay or nay. And then we will, at that point, let you know that we are going to hop into spoiler territories, talk about the plot, and just give you an overview on our thoughts on the plot and characters, and then give you our ending thoughts and final scores. So, if you don't want to listen to spoilers, this is the part that you will listen to, and then later on we will say, okay, stop watching, this is when we get into spoiler territory, and at that point, go watch the show, then come back and come listen to our spoiler discussion.
Heck Spoilers for whether or not Jay recommends this show, because he just said, go watch it.
Well, I mean...
Also, go watch it.
they watch the show and then they come back and Jay's like, yeah, you shouldn't have wasted your time with the show.
Yeah, joke's on you.
You ruined my plan.
Stupid show about rocks.
How'd you know I was gonna say the first thing in our spoiler discussion? Yeah, you shouldn't have watched that.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's begin our discussion, boys.
Yes.
Let's do it.
With AniPro's patented OP discussion.
OP
discussion. What did you guys think
yeah.
of the OP of this show? And why was it fire?
Oh, it's very good. I think you submitted it in episode 13, and it was the show that I gave my my trap card to.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good OP, just like with the visuals, the song. I love like how calm it is, and then like it just like gives you like a slight like fire when it picks up slightly.
Well, and it just tells a little story.
Yeah.
Like, through its visuals. Just the visuals of it. You know? Like it's about Phos waking up, and then like at the end of it, she's choosing to do her own thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like she's choosing to walk her own path.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's not a spoiler.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah.
It's just mentally, she's not. She comes out of her shell.
Mm-hmm. It really highlights the main like thesis point of the show really well, and I thought that was really good.
Yeah, and like as you guys said, the visuals are stunning for this show.
Yeah. Oh,
yes.
like, absolutely.
The OP is no exception.
Yeah.
It's one of my all-time favorite OPs. Like I could just watch it at any time.
Yeah. No, it's definitely really good. I'd probably say like while it's very good, I could find myself like skipping it sometimes if I weren't someone who doesn't skip OPs, but like I still really like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say you need to watch it every episode, but yeah, it's just nice. I like the song a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good song. And I mean, like that at the start of it, where like Phos wakes up. Oh,
it's cute. It's comfy.
Cute.
Yeah,
so cute.
Yeah.
What about the ED?
I like the ED. It's not
ED
as
too.
good, but I know one of us has a different opinion on that.
Oh, I like the ED, and let me just say that I like the ED because it reminds me of the previously released PV that they did for the Land of the Lustrous as a manga, where it was like hand drawn instead of CGI.
Oh, I've never seen
like
that. Actually,
the character models look much more like that, and I just thought it was a bit different comparatively to.
Honestly,
or the show itself.
For me, I felt like the OP is leagues better than the ED. The ED really didn't do anything for me. It was just kind of that song that plays at the end of the show to show who worked on it, and that's really all it did for me. And to do that, it was fine, but it didn't really like blow me away. Like the OP really like pulled me into the show.
Mm-hmm.
I'll kind of agree with that. Like it's not as stunning. It doesn't really get you as excited. But it is, as far as EDs go, pretty good.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's much more reminiscent of the manga as well. Just in like the palette of it. Like it's very black, and then all of the characters are drawn over the black background. So it's, I don't know, kind of reminded me of that a little bit too.
It's a little more tame too. Like it's a little more subdued than.
Yeah.
Not that this is like a bombastic anime or anything, but yeah, it is. It definitely is a different feel to it.
It's got some hype action scenes.
Oh, absolutely, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, honestly, the camera work, animation, and everything in the action scenes are, like, really, like, stunning, but we'll get to that later.
For now, let's talk about sound design, I guess, and music.
Sound design,
voice actors?
soundtrack.
Soundtrack for the show is
Phenomenal.
unbelievable.
Unreal. The theme for the Lunarians is, like, one of the highlights for me. I love that theme, and, like, it fits the theme of what that, like, entity is so well. It has, like, a creepy vibe, an unreal, like, an otherworldly vibe. It feels, like, very alien, and, like, I love that theme.
Yeah, also, like, the use of, like, more traditional, like, Buddhist instruments, the bells and stuff like that. Very, because I'm not sure if you noticed, there's a lot of Buddhism industry in this show.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I think it's Buddhist and Tao, like it's all sorts of like Eastern religions in this one.
Yeah. But I mean, just in general, like the soundtrack is so cool. Like whether it's the Lunarian stuff or like just the standard soundtrack is like just like cool, like jazzy piano and stuff. Yeah, very très bien.
I was excited for this section actually because this is probably the first show that we've watched for this show where the sound actually is kind of like notable, and like while you're watching it definitely is something you notice. Like a lot of anime, they'll just go for like generic or just kind of more subtle stuff, whereas this one, like it really feels like the soundtrack is almost a character, like it amplifies so much of the show.
Yeah definitely,
Absolutely.
Yeah, it leads your emotion in the right way.
I was gonna say it's like almost a character, you know what I mean? Like it really, but it really is just more like an amplifier.
It's really a good player in driving the story home for people, which is
as cliche as that is. The music is a character in the show, I'd say.
Yeah.
And another thing that this show has leagues over. Another thing that the show has in spades over any other show is just the sound design in general. Like the little like clunks and
clinks and things that the gems make. Yeah, when
the gems hit like the floor or something like that,
or like them shattering, or just anything. Like it sounds so.
When the two amethyst twins smash their heads together, it's just like clink.
Yeah.
No, that's something I noticed a lot in my rewatch this time, was like just how good everything sounds. Like it's like they went out and just recorded what it sounds like when rocks are hit against each other.
Yeah. No, it sounds like
honestly did.
It sounds very accurate to what like you're seeing on screen, and it feels like that's what you're hearing. Which
because they're not squishy. They're rock people.
They're rock people. Yeah.
they're painted rock people. Which I always find funny that they paint themselves to have like white skin.
Yeah, it's like, why are you doing that?
Why are you doing that?
I like how they leave their fingernails, so like their nails will have the color of their gem.
And their hair too.
Yeah.
And
like, I mean, this is kind of going out of the territory of sound more into visuals, but like, and character design. But I love how like their hair, like it looks like hair, but like it's more like a gel of the gem that they are. So like it waves, but like it waves in more of like a crystalline way. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I think that's just an artistic choice. I think it is supposed to be like hair.
Yeah, no,
like
it's just like
strands of the gem.
Yeah, it just really feels like it makes it more gem-like.
I think it depends which gem it is too, because if you look in the final episode, they do some kind of close-up shots on Cinnabar's hair, and it definitely, like, there are strands to her hair.
Yeah, it looks
Phos
like
is more gem-like.
Yeah, it looks like like a gel kind of.
Yeah.
And it's got like translucency to it.
And I suppose they're all different gems with different hardness and different properties and that. So
I watched a video, I think by Canapa Effect, just before recording this actually, and they were saying like they put so much care into even how the light passes through the hair, and how each gem has different reflectivity to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like Daya's hair is very, very reflective, whereas some other hair, like Bort, it's just dense.
Yeah.
So like light doesn't pass through it quite as much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they put a lot of work into this show. What about the voice acting? This is where we can talk about the differences, because Michael watched a different show than us.
I did, yeah.
Let me lead off by saying I love the voice acting in this show so much.
Yeah.
And it's because of Phos's voice.
I remember
my favorite line in the show is Phos going, "Bleh," a million times. Yeah, no, just the little noises that she makes and stuff. I mean, I sent you guys the video there of just Phos noises compilation. And that was just part 1. There's a part 2 of that.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, when you sent me that, I had only finished episode 1. So I heard that happening and I was like, okay, I'm going to listen out for it. And it happens very frequently. And like, that's just the voice actor having fun in the booth.
Well, that's just
like,
that's just her knowing that that's how you breathe life into a character.
Yeah.
It's like all those little like incidental grunts and breathing and
that's acting. That's acting.
Yeah. And then I mean, just the supporting cast around her too is
Sari Hayami.
Yeah, well, for like she's like the most incidental character.
Look, Sari Hayami is Sari Hayami, okay?
Let me just say that Ayane Sakura in this show, you didn't even know it was her. Like she's an incredible voice actor. It's like how she can change her voice so much to go from like very high energy Yotsuba and Quince to low energy Bort in this show. Like that's awesome. But I think Jay and I probably have similar opinions on this. We both agree the voice acting is top notch. Some of the best.
Absolutely.
Some of the best. Mike, how was the dub though?
Oh, I watched this one sub.
Oh, did you actually?
No, I'm kidding. I tried watching an episode of it, and then I was just like, the dub's just easier. And I've already seen it too, so I was like, I'd like to just have it on. The dub is also very good. There's pretty much everything you guys said. They kind of just one for one it with the dub.
Do we got Phos noises though?
Well, yeah, like all her noises are basically cued to her animation, right? So they can't have them not in it. But it's I would say they're not as good as the video you sent. I didn't realize that was a meme, by the way. I had no idea.
Yeah, no, and it's not just Phos, it's Kumiko too from
Sound Euphonium.
Euphonium. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because she does the same thing in that show too, where she just that's how she acts. It's great.
Yeah.
And I read the manga too, and like, she does. That's kind of just true to who Phos is, really. She just kind of reacts a lot early on in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about the manga, maybe off air. I'm curious how far you got into it.
Yeah.
If you got to the best manga panel.
I own the first volume of the manga, but I haven't read it yet. I probably should.
You probably should.
It's good.
It's a pretty easy thing to answer. I just read as up to the end of this season. So chapter 36 is what I read up to.
Oh, okay. So you haven't read forward.
Yeah. And I will say that the visuals in the manga are very interesting to compare to the visuals in the anime.
Yes, definitely almost opposites of one another.
Yes.
Because like I always say, the manga is very dark, like aesthetically, not necessarily in tone, but like just visually, it's a very dark manga. Whereas this show is an absolute rainbow of color and light and beauty. Yeah. It's beautiful.
It honestly, both are beautiful in my opinion. It's just like you said, they're opposites. Like the manga does a good job of using light and dark, and they'll just have like an entire panel that's like black except for one thing. And they do that in the show too, but like you can't recreate the gem's hair glistening and the radiance of Daya's hair,
and just the different colors of them.
Yeah, no, you just can't. Like I felt like I was actually tempted to read the colored version of it, just purely to have the different hair colors and stuff.
Yeah.
But we're talking about the show here. The show looks great. The kind of the elephant in the room is that it's entirely CG, 3D CG anime.
Which
but
like
they did it right.
I mean, Orange is just really good at 3D CG. Like even like not just Land of the Lustrous, but like things like Beastars or whatever whatever they do, their 3D animation is so good. So like
the thing with this one again, like if anybody's interested in like seeing more of like how the animation was done, definitely go check out Canapa Effects. Let's link it in the description. Yeah.
Or put it in the Discord.
Yeah, but they go into like how the faces, for example, where the animation was based on somebody hand animating it initially. So somebody would hand animate it and then they would just draw over top of that on the computer. So that's why the faces are still very anime-like and not like, say, Knights of Sidonia or something like that, where they're a little bit more wooden.
Or X-Arm, where some are 2D and some are 3D animation.
Yeah, it's not a puppet going... It's an actual... Like, it looks like anime.
Yeah.
That's because they intentionally tried to keep it as anime-like as possible. And I mean, the 3D lends itself so well to action and camera motion and stuff like that too. Just the direction of it. Like, again, some of the fight scenes in it are so good just in the way that the camera moves. How it's really only Ufotable that does something like that. Like, honestly, Studio Orange doesn't get enough credit for doing stuff that Ufotable does as well. They just don't do it as often. I wish Studio Orange did more.
I think they should get a lot of credit because they're brave enough to go fully CG, which just instantly is a no for people sometimes.
Yeah.
But because they go fully CG, they can do things that you could do with a 2D animation, but it would take so much longer and it'd be so much more difficult.
And so much more expensive.
Yeah, with 3D, you're basically, it's all there. Like, you just have a model, you just kind of set the difference.
I think something that really like summed it up was most places will use CGI for things that are too difficult to do in 2D, whereas Land of the Lustrous tried to do the opposite. They did things in 2D that were too difficult to do in 3D, like the face animation and some close-ups of things that they ended up doing more as a traditional 2D animation. And that's what makes this one of the best, the best 3D animated show, I think.
I'd say that's fair. I'd say that's not a hot take.
Yeah, no, I mean, to be fair, though, it's not like there's no real tough competition there.
I mean, sure, like
Beastars.
Beastars is good, but I mean
that's also Orange, right? So like, yeah.
I think that this show also just lends itself to be well received as a 3D anime as well, just because of the way the gems work and that stuff. So they can kind of come off as a little bit less realistic than like a human.
Yeah, and I think that's the point, right?
And again, with Beastars too, they can do that because they're not people; they're animals. They're animals. Yeah. I'm curious though when Trigun comes out, how that'll be, because they're animating people at that point, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess did we mention that was fully 3D, the Trigun thing?
Well, it's Studio Orange, so that's what they do. Yeah.
I think we should also kind of just quickly talk on all the like visual themes in this show. Like, there's a lot of moments I noticed. Well, because like, if not to spoil too much, but the gems are kind of the moon. It provides quite a threat to them, and there's a lot of scenes where they're showing the gems sitting there, and then the moon will be like lurking overhead, or like there's a lot of points where like they kind of show all that, and then I love the way that they frame shots in this show too. Like, they'll actually have a little like a character in the corner of the screen or something like that, and then there's this beautiful landscape in front of you.
Yes, it's just well
shot.
Shots.
Yeah. And I love the way the Lunarians look too. They look
the Lunarians are so cool and creepy and
creepy.
Otherworldly. Yeah. That's not to just completely like talk about how good the gems look. Yeah, the Lunarians are very.
The character design in general is just really cool.
Yeah. And like, that's all source material, right? They look the same, but they just did such a good job adapting it. It's perfect.
Yeah.
There was something I wanted to mention. Oh well, I forgot.
Yeah, it'll come back to you. We got lots of time. The interesting thing, I read this online, is that some of the gems interact differently in different lights, which I thought was kind of a cool thing too. So like in the final episode, you notice that Phos's hair is not green but more of a blue because it's nighttime. And just like the way it just interacts with stuff, and like the Lunarians' light changes the way one of their hair interacts because the light that they give off is different. There's just so much like thought that went into this that's just so interesting, and this again wouldn't be possible with 2D animation.
Yeah, no, exactly, because that's one of those things where they just plunked in the information into the computer, and then the computer's able to dictate how the light passes through these gems and what it would look like after.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas if it was hand animated, they might just make like Phos at night would just look like Phos at night. So Phos, but darker. But if it's on the computer, you can say, well, it's not just darker. The light is different at night. So
and then they can also like simulate.
Their hair would look a little more blue than green.
They can also like use programs to like simulate light reflecting and refracting and all that. And you can't do that as easily in hand animation.
Yeah. Insert
exactly.
GIF of Diamond's hair in this show.
Oh my god, it sparkles.
Like the rainbows and stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool because like Cole said earlier, they actually used like how the light would interact in this actual mineral.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I learned so much about minerals in this one. like cinnabar. I didn't know that's mercury comes out of that.
Oh,
yeah.
That actually happens.
One of my favorite...
Made me look it up. I learned things.
Yeah.
I had to look it up too.
Yeah.
Like, what's the silver stuff? Oh, it's mercury.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things in this was when the in-between screens in the middle where there's like a commercial break normally.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like a picture of the element and like just talking about like, it'll say like
like
cinnabar, HGS is the chemical formula. And then I'll say like the crystalline structure and I'll have a picture of the rock. And it's like, that's cool. It's the only time I've ever been like that hyped for a rock.
the Moss scale rating on it.
Yeah.
That's the only time I've ever been so...
Is a major piece of this story. The Moss scale. That's so like...
That's the only time I've ever been so hyped for a rock, Mike 2022. Frame it.
Yeah.
I think we should...
Except for that last time I was hyped for the rock.
Yeah. Oh, I get hyped for the rock all the time. I was lying.
Yeah.
You hyped your right?
Spoiler-free thoughts here?
Oh, I was just going to say you hyped your wife about a rock at some point.
That's true. That is true.
Right. Yes. Mike is married.
Yeah, he is married. Unlike us filthy degenerates.
Yes. Spoiler-free thoughts. It's good.
It's good.
It's good.
It's good. It's a good show.
Very good.
Yeah.
Good show. Go watch it. I'm giving it a big ol' yay.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think most people would like this show. I'd give it a yay.
Do you like action? Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Watch it. Do you like drama?
Yes. Watch it.
Do you like beautiful art? Yes.
Watch it.
Do you like character development? Yes. Watch it.
Yeah.
Do you like good voice acting? Yes. Watch it.
Yeah.
No, it's literally so good.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
I honestly can't see anyone giving this show anything lower than like a 7.
Nah, there's always the naysayers, but they deserve none of my attention.
Looking at the score distribution on this one, it's got an 83% average score, so that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would say that pretty much anybody would enjoy this show. It's kind of got something for everybody.
Yeah, and just a cool premise too.
Yeah, absolutely. The world building is really what sets it apart.
Oh yeah, I think that the world building is probably the best thing that it has going for it.
Character development.
Yeah,
I'm on the side of character development.
Yep.
Phos's growth is
second
to none.